Hello everyone, this is Saurabh Mora. Most welcome all on my YouTube channel Enjoy Literature by SM. In this lecture, I would like to discuss about the most important topic of the linguistics, which is synchronic and diachronic linguistics. As we all know, the synchronic linguistics and diachronic linguistics is a part of the historical linguistics, and historical linguistics is a branch of the linguistics. So, everyone know about linguistics is the scientific study of language, means we study of the language in a systematic way. Yeah. So, when we come to the historical linguistics, historical linguistics. So, in historical linguistics, we study of language on a historical level, means the changes in a language on a historical level. Like we can know that there are so many changes in the language when we just comparison between the language of the Anglo-Saxon period to the Norman conquest and to the language of the Norman conquest to the medieval era and medieval to the modern. So, there are many changes, so many changes in the language. These changes in language may be on the lexical level, maybe on the grammatical level, maybe on the sound level or in the orthographic conventions. Yeah. So, there is a synchronic linguistics, and second one is diachronic. Do you know there was a person whose name is Ferdinand de Saussure. Ferdinand de Saussure, especially everyone say Ferdinand de Saussure, who make the first distinction between synchronic and diachronic. When we come to the synchronic and diachronic linguistics, then it is the study of the language, it is the changes in the language, either that is the at the given point of the time, either that is the through the time. So, when we come to the synchronic linguistics, so by name synchronic we can study, define it. Yeah. So, synchronic, it is a Greek word. Synchronic is a, it is derived from a Greek word syn plus chronic. Yeah. Syn means same and chronic means chronicle, time. So, the study of our language at the same time, at the given point of time, is called as the synchronic linguistics. Next, when we come to the diachronic linguistics, it has a broad term. Diachronic linguistics sometimes also called as the historical linguistics, because in historical linguistics we study of a language, we study the changes in the language through the time, and the same way when we come to the diachronic, in diachronic it is also derived from the Greek word and Greek word dia plus chronic. When we come to the dia means through, chronic means time. So, we study of a language, the study of a language, the changes in the language through the time, over the time is known as the diachronic linguistics. So, do you know there is a word, when we just study of a language, when you study of a single language, then it is called the philology. There is some term philology. Yeah. And there is also a word which is etymology. Sometimes we just get confused that we also study of the etymology, with the origins of the words, and in a diachronic linguistics also. So, what is the major differences? What is the main differences between etymology and diachronic linguistics? when we come to the diachronic linguistics, it is the study of a language. I mean the changes through the time. But when we come to the etymology, so when we just discuss the etymology, etymology just derived from the Greek word. It is also derived from the Greek word etymon. E-T-U, yeah, etymon. Etymon means true. Yeah, true, or we can say the original meaning. Original meaning. Yeah. So when we come to the etymology, then in etymology we study of the word. We study of the origin of the words. Yeah. So we can see here that the primary concern or the primary goal of the historical linguistics is not etymology. Yeah, it is the main point that the primary concern of the historical linguistics is not etymology, but accurate etymology, or we can say accurate etymology. Can be the it means it is an important productions of the historical linguistics. So we can say there are so many words in historical linguistics that we can say that they have so many forms, like they are derived from the Latin, Greek. Like we can say I am taking an example. Like we can say there is a word glamour. Yeah, when we come to the word glamour, yeah, so glamour is just it is taken from the word grammar. Yeah, glamour is just derived from the grammar. There is a sporadic changes, means when we come to already I have told that the word glamour is derived from the grammar. So there is a difference. It is derived from the glamour, is derived from the grammar. And do you know what is the means of the grammar? There is a sporadic changes. In sporadic changes, what is sporadic changes? Sporadic changes means that when sporadic changes means there will be it affect the one word or a few words without irregular changes. Yeah, without irregularities, without we can say apparent irregularities. Yeah, so there is a sporadic changes here. R becomes L in this here. Yeah, so we can there are so many changes on the basis of the historical level, and we study of a language on the historical level in the historical linguistics. And here we can find that the word grammar. Do you know this word glamour is the derived from the word grammar in Scottish English. But when we do you know it is derived from the grammar in Scottish English, and this means this glamour means we can say enchantment, magic, or necromancy. Necromancy means kala jadoo. Yeah. So here we can say that the word glamour derived from the grammar, and when we come to the grammar, then grammar is derived from the word French word. Grammar derived from the French word grammaire. G-R-A-M-M-A-I-R-E. And now and after that it derived from the Latin word grammatica. And after that when we come to the Greek, it becomes the gramma. Yeah, and later when it come to the modern English, then it's known to be the grammar. Yeah, so there is a changes on a historical level. When we come to the in a French English, it grammar derived from the French word grammar. After that in Latin it became the grammatica. In Greek Greek it became the grammar. Yeah, So there are so many changes. Next we come to, just we take the another example, like we can say we often use this word in I mean in our daily life, goodbye. Yeah, when we come to this example, goodbye, goodbye. The word goodbye has a, I mean, nowadays we have just goodbye means that if you just go, if someone departure from anywhere, say goodbye. Yeah, when you just see off to anyone, you just say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Yeah. So this is a common word nowadays. But when we come to the 1500 BC, in the 1500 BC, in 15th century, we can say in 15th century, the goodbye means God be with you. God be with you. So just we can say the changes. I mean how? I mean God be with you change it to goodbye. Yeah. So at first in the 1500 century, I mean in 1500, God, I mean goodbye means was God be with you. Well, it was a good meaning, and after that it became God be with ye. Do you know ye has a, ye means you, ye, thy, thou. These are the, I mean grammatical, I mean these are changes on the grammatical level. Yeah. So and after that it became God by. Yeah, and after that God becomes good and by. Yeah. So goodbye is derived, I mean derived from the, when we come to the 1500 BC, then goodbye means in 1500 BC God be with you, and after that it changes, and when we come to the 1700 it was God be with ye. Yeah, and after that it God by. After that now we generally use goodbye. Yeah, but we generally use goodbye to see off to someone, but exactly we don't know what was the exact meaning of the goodbye. Yeah, so here are, I mean, so many changes on the grammatical level. Next, so next we discuss about the some of the changes on the lexical level and the grammatical level in historical linguistics. When we come to the changes in the grammatical, lexical and grammatical level, so let's discuss. When it discuss, I mean talks about the changes in language on the lexical level. Lexical level. When we come to the changes in lexical level, there is a word in modern English. There is a word in modern English. Bireth. Bireth. Bireth, when we come to the, I mean word bireth, then in modern English, bireth, in modern English, bireth, this was, I mean it was replaced by some other words in the 17th century. In the 17th century, bireth was replaced, yeah, which means to malign, to malign, or to expose, or we can say to open any secret. Yeah. Next, when we come to the changes on the syntactic level, this is the most important changes in the language, syntactic level. Syntactic level, this is the changes you, I mean mostly you will find, I mean in your if you are the student of the literature, in our, in the poetic, because you know in that time when we come to the Anglo-Saxon period, and from Anglo-Saxon period 450 to the 1066, so in that time there were no any, I mean drama, there were no any tragedy, there were no any tragicomedy. You know, all the stories were written in a poetic form. Yeah, and now we can't, there is a much distance, much differences between, I mean, that far and now what's going on, yeah, like a sonnet or something else. So in that time there are so many changes on the syntactic level. I mean, this is also called, either we can say syntactic level or grammatical level. Grammatical changes, grammatical level changes we can say, morphological level, yeah. So okay, let's discuss some words so that you may understand this. When we come to thy, thou, and ye, yeah. So when, do you know, there is a word buntu becomes unto, yeah. This is when we come to this word in the Germanic language, yeah. In Germanic language there were no distinction between you and we, yeah. So we can see here that a v, when it comes in the initial position of a word, then it is you, and when it comes to the, when I mean you comes in the medial position of a word, it becomes v, yeah. So when if I write how, then this is have in Germanic English, yeah. So there in Germanic English there were no distinctions between you and v. If v will come in the initial position of a word, then it will be you, and if you will come in the medial position of a word, it will, I mean, it will be pronounced as v, yeah. Okay, next we talk about that in German language, I mean, there were some rules which has been lost now. Now it is not. In German language, the subject and the verb, in German language, we can, I mean, the subject and the verb, just they inverted when preceded by the other materials, yeah. I mean, there is a rules in German language in that time, that subject, I mean, we can say inverted of the subject and verb when it is preceded by the other materials. Like if we say they came, then they never say they came, they always say came they, yeah. There is some rules in German language, but now this rule has been lost completely, yeah. Okay, next we just talk about this word thy. Thy means you. Modern time, you can find this word, I mean, you can get this word in a Anglo-Saxon period, that they always say thou art, yeah. If this, I mean, you will find this word, thou art. This means you are, yeah. So these are the words that you will find in old, I mean, English, I mean, in old English period. Next we just discuss about the, I mean, last point, that we just discuss here, that in old English, I mean, in old English period, there were plural marker, like now right now as we use s as a plural marker. So in that time they were using eth, yeah. So if in old English, if there is a word like gift, then this means gifts, yeah. So just eth just change in s or es as the plural marker. So this was all these changes in the historical linguistics, either that is on the syntactic level or on the lexical level. So do you know, there is some important questions about this, that who coined that, who made the distinction between synchronic and diachronic linguistics? Then it was the Ferdinand de Saussure who just make a distinctions between synchronic and diachronic linguistics. we study the synchronic and diachronic linguistics in historical linguistics. It is a part of the historical linguistics. So I hope this video will be helpful for you all and you will enjoy it. Okay, thank you so much.